Hello and welcome back to International Journeyman here with Brazil, where, after a somewhat chaotic start, we now find ourselves with actual work to do. Well, nearly. After finally having our first matches, after 8 months in charge, we are now going into overdrive with both the start of World Cup qualification and then today's main event, the Copa America. Will we secure the second trophy needed for the challenge? Hopefully, but the main thing is to just not get sacked, as that could cause problems longer term. I mean, I've said all that, but even in May, any matches are still months away. For you, it'll be seconds, for me, ages. Anyway, they draw the fixtures for World Cup qualifying and we have Argentina first, although not until October, and we can't have any friendlies until then either. Along the way, the USA's stranglehold on the Gold Cup comes to an end in our absence. Bad luck, lads. Having been in charge for now well over a year, it's great to finally have just my third match in charge. I'll rattle through these, but would be good to have an easier opener, but even better to go and win it. A crackingly clinical and defensively solid start, which bodes well. We follow this up with a straightforward win over Peru. In November, we nail Colombia to the mast with a mesmeric display from Vinicius Jr. and Endrick, and then show some real grit and determination to come from behind to beat Chile. This is followed by some job offers from some extremely optimistic European teams. I mean, seriously, I'm managing Brazil on 40k a week. South Korea try their luck as well. I would love the job, but just not now. In January, in a truly shocking development, we actually successfully get to manage the under-23s in the Olympic qualification tournament. We go unbeaten through both phases, which means of course we safely qualify for the Olympics in the USA, and we even get a trophy for it. Some promising youngsters here too. Let's just hope we're still here to take charge of the main event. We'll need to at least survive the Copa America. Argentina are hosting and we get the draw for it, and both they and Colombia are in our group, which might be good for the knockouts. We also get Ecuador, Peru and guest team Costa Rica. We have one set of World Cup qualifiers in March. Before that though, we see off Ecuador 1-0 and then do likewise against Uruguay. This sees us top the group with a 100% record, with Argentina languishing on a mere 6 points. Everything is being set up perfectly for us to lose the Copa America final to them on penalties. I mean, I really hope not. Here's the squad. We went over them all last time and no real changes from where we left off, save for Bremer over Ibanez as one of the backup centre backs and Vanderson being available this time. Now, we are the holders here and the Brazilian FA are unequivocal in their objective. We need to win, which is great because that's what I want to do too, but terrible as it leaves no margin for error with an Olympics and World Cup on the horizon. And we've already got the best seat in the house. So let's just please not screw this up. We start off with Colombia and then Argentina, which is tricky, but if we can win, it might mean we can wrap up progression to the knockouts with at least one spare game, allowing a full rotation. The main thing in our way of victory is, as ever, SI's inability to allow training and rest for internationals. Here is the team for the opener: Alisson, Lodi, Marquinhos, Militao, Vanderson, Fabinho, Guimaraes, Paqueta, Vinicius Jr, Endrick and Jesus. I would love to lay down an early marker, and a beautiful passing move comes to Endrick, whose skill is incredible as he crosses to Paqueta to smash home a delightful volley. A perfect start gets even better a minute later as Vinicius Jr flicks it forwards to Jesus to make it 2. In the second half we get a penalty and the evergreen Fabinho puts it away. Colombia do swiftly pull one back through Sinisterra, but it means nothing as we kick off with a vital win. Argentina could only draw their opener, no changes as we face the hosts. And why would I, as minutes in we win another penalty and Fabinho once again converts it. Argentina attempt to get back on level terms by playing out from the back, but they are sloppy and Paqueta wins it back, setting up Vinicius Jr to fire home a second and put us in control. From that point on we enter full humiliation mode as Vanderson crosses in for Vinicius Jr to head in a third. Endrick is then fouled for yet another penalty, which allows Vinicius Jr to complete a first half hat-trick. It's 4-0 at half time against the hosts and our main threat for this title. With 20 minutes left, we work it into the box and Vinicius Jr helps himself to a fourth. 5-0 against Argentina, a total demolition job. A win against Ecuador would see us take a big step towards knockout qualification. No changes again. We get an early free kick which Lodi plays in and Militao controls beautifully to dispatch for 1-0. In the second half, a slick move sees the ever excellent Endrick pull it back for Paqueta to fire home for 2. Ecuador attempt to mount a comeback and have some good chances, but we are as good defensively as we are offensively and stand strong for another win and another clean sheet. 9 from 9 to seize control of the group and indeed after the other matches secure progression. Meanwhile in Oceania, New Zealand somehow lose the Nations Cup final again. New Zealand FA, give me a call at some point. But we have other matters to attend to at the moment, that being Peru who have 0 points, so hopefully a good chance for a full rest. Yep, definitely, as Peru totally self-destruct, their 2 best players getting sent off as the second 11 cruise to a 4-0 win. This means we win the group with a game to spare. For the final group game with Costa Rica, I do opt to restore the first 11 as the first knockout game isn't for over another week and I want to maintain their sharpness and momentum. This might be a mistake, but it's so hard to judge. We race into a lead, so I drop the tempo and pressing instructions down as low as possible. A 3-1 win is secured. Hopefully the fitness and sharpness will be sufficiently preserved. We win the group with a 100% record, with Argentina making it through as well, and everyone else major makes it through, and we get Chile in the quarterfinals. Argentina win theirs, of course, but Colombia and Mexico both get knocked out, which is really good if we win. We're in some excellent form, but this is knockout football on Football Manager. Anything can happen. No changes to the team. Fitness and sharpness look to be holding up. It's a slow start, with the Chilean keeper only just turning this effort wide. As we head towards half time though, Militao wins it back and Guimaraes drives through midfield to feed Jesus, who still has work to do, but his finish is exceptional. We press to add to this with a few chances before we work it through midfield again, and Jesus again controls it, presses on and adds a magnificent second. He really deserves a hat-trick, and sure enough, Henrique crosses from the left and he heads it in to seal it. Not satisfied with 3, he then dinks the keeper for a cheeky 4th. An outstanding display from him as we sail into the semi-finals with no real danger at all. We'll face Venezuela there, while Argentina have Ecuador. After getting 10 days off after the group stage, we get just 1 before the semi-final. I have no idea who thought this was sensible scheduling. I can't help but feel that the prospect of everything all going wrong is inescapably lurking. There are 5 days before the final, so I don't see the need to fully rest here. I mean, it's literally a semi-final, so as ever, why would I or should I? Militao is suspended, so Bremer comes in, but otherwise I stick with the preferred lineup. The players may be somewhat lacking in terms of fitness, but they don't seem to mind. Lodi finds Guimaraes, who sends it to Jesus, who runs a bit and then unleashes a fearsome strike. 1-0. We're just so brutal when we get a chance. A few minutes later we come forwards again and it's the same players again. Guimaraes cares not for challenges, has a give and go, and Jesus supplies the finish once more, which is ruled onside. Endrick has been his usual excellent self and deserves a goal, but can only find the woodwork. And what about Vinicius Jr.? Well, Jesus fancies an assist and our other attacking star finds the gap. 3-0 at the break. In the second half, I again drop the tempo down and it's fairly highlight free because the damage was done in the first. We win, we're into the final. How much has that taken out of them though? Inevitably, despite their poor form, Argentina go and beat Ecuador to set up a traditional final. We are still fully on to lose to them on penalties against a vociferous home crowd. You'd think the 5-0 group stage win would give me confidence. We've been so good, I just hope that even if we do lose this, the Brazilian FA don't sack me. I don't think that would be especially deserved. I restore Militao, everyone else's fitness isn't perfect, but it'll have to do. Is trophy number 2 incoming, or will it be a horrible failure? It's a game low on any massive quality, which is to be expected when both teams start largely exhausted. Perhaps someone should add resting players as a feature to the game. Argentina dominate the early exchanges and Ocampos fires wide with their best effort. Our only first half effort comes in the form of this off-target header from Guimaraes. It's a bit tense. Absolutely nothing else happens until well into the second half as Militao fires over from a free kick. Extra time seems inevitable, but then Argentina come forwards and Correa scores. but thankfully it's offside. I really wouldn't want to be deprived of this extra time. As ever in extra time, nothing really happens until later on when a curling effort from Velasco hits the bar. I think. I'm mostly just staring at the floor and praying at this point. And so, of course, we have to go to penalties. I called it, didn't I? We beat them 5-0 in the group. Can it please be a quick end at least? We're first, and Fabinho thankfully doesn't miss. Alisson then dives low to his right to stop Campus's effort. Martinelli can put us in control, but he doesn't. But as Montiel steps up, Alisson obviously had one of those liquid Weetabix things before we started because he's on fire. Rafinha does put us 2-0 up, and then all of the remaining penalties go in, meaning it comes to Militao to sink his and win us the match. And he does. Thank God for that. I'm thrilled obviously, but I mostly just feel sick. Not a great final performance, but we get over the line and we have our second needed trophy. Fantastic stuff. I really didn't want to be sacked and have to come back again with someone else, or with Brazil again in 20 years when our reappointment wouldn't spark a wave of riots. A wave of celebrations instead. It's nothing except what was expected of course, but I'm always happy to do that. We've passed. We survive, I can breathe. And let's be honest, we've been pretty outstanding all tournament long. Marquinhos decides to call it a day, which is fair enough. Fair to say Vinicius Jr. and Jesus were both robbed of best player. Endrick at least gets a deserved young player reward. Alisson wins the Golden Glove, and we get 6 out of 11 for the team of the tournament. A job thankfully well done, not least because this always takes place in the same summer as the Euros, which by the way Ukraine have won this summer, crushing France in the final. Amazing scenes. Plenty of decent jobs as a result, but while South America is now ticked off, there's still of course the World Cup where we would certainly be amongst the contenders, so I've got no intention to leave yet. Although saying that, we do have 13 players already aged over 30, which is an issue, but regardless of that, we also have the small matter of the Olympics in literally a few days' time. 2 trophies in 2 episodes? Surely not. It's a medal, not a trophy anyway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.